Good morning, friends. Welcome to today's video post. Today, I'd like to talk about being mindful and skillful and wise in relation to what we take in from the world. The title, what we ingest. Some of you may know about Thich Nhat Hanh's take on the five precepts, training guidelines, where he expands the fifth one that kind of traditionally talks about ingesting intoxicants that cloud the mind, to avoid doing that. He expands that and talks about ingesting all sorts of things, including movies, what we read, what we see with our eyes, news, all things like that. And because how those actually affect our hearts and minds. And I think this is actually a very wise and helpful kind of expansion of that precept. And I am bringing this up in relation to our current, situation in our country with all the tumult, the economic, political, social tumult, the COVID-19 pandemic, and the climate crisis. These things, especially when captured by the media, are these arisings, there's sankharas, a dependently arisen object, and they're very flashy, kind of like a fishing lure. It goes through the water and it shines and flashes and gets the fish's attention. These things, they flash into existence, amplified by the media, and they can really get our attention. And now, just to say, on one level, these things really do need our attention, right? Systemic racism needs our attention, especially the attention of white people. Climate crisis needs our attention. We have to figure out a way to stave off the worst effects. So just want to say that these things absolutely need our attention. And the question is that a conscious attention or not? Do we know at any given moment, yes, I'm ingesting this now. I am going to interact with this piece of news or story, media, and I'm going to be aware as I do it. Or is it just something, a flashy sankhara flashing into existence, and we're like the fish in the ocean, go and ingest it without even knowing it because it's flashy and we're drawn to it. Yeah, very different, these two ways of ingesting these particular aspects of life. So that's one level of, I think, wisely ingesting is knowing, being aware that we are taking something in. The other level is that we need to take breaks. When you eat, you put the food in your mouth, you're ingesting, you have to chew it and swallow it before you put the next bite in. It's like there's a pause. And of course, everything tells us that the slower we eat and the more we pause between bites, the better it is for us. So it's helpful to have these pauses between what we ingest. And so time of deliberately turning away from the flashy sankharas arising and not ingesting them or anything, or ingesting something that is different, which we'll do in a moment, like calm and tranquility, giving the heart and the mind, the chitta, a chance to rest and not be so kind of buffeted about as it kind of chases these flashy sankharas. Let's go ahead and do some of that. Let's take a break from ingesting or ingest something very wholesome, in this case, the development of tranquility in the body and the mind. Okay. And it's just in general very helpful to be aware of what your kind of attitude is towards meditation. Like right now, is it, oh, this is something really good to do for myself. This is going to be a nice pause. This will be very helpful. Turning towards ingesting something that is very wholesome. Or is it more like checking off something on a to-do list, doing something that we know is good for us, but well, maybe we really don't want to do it. And no right or wrong, but really helpful to know what's the attitude that we meditate with. Bringing your attention to the body now, letting the eyes gently close. Letting the attention sink down into the body. Inviting the body to soften and relax. Starting to engage with the body in a somatic way. So we're not thinking about it, but we're feeling it. Maybe as the body softens and relaxes, sense of the energy kind of sinking downwards, and we sort of naturally come to experience this contact with what we're sitting on, the floor beneath us, letting the attention naturally be drawn to these places of contact. Contact between the body and what's underneath it. And as the mind takes up this experience of the bodily sensations, and by definition, for those moments when it's connected to the body in this way, it is not chasing these other flashy sankharas around. Yes, the bodily sensations are sankharas themselves, so we're not leaving this realm of dependent originating objects. But we are connecting with an object that's very simple. It doesn't have stories that are inherent in it. We can make stories about what we feel, but they're not inherent in the sensations. They're just sensations. And we can start to get a sense of resting with the simplicity of this experience, just bodily sensations. Start to come to see it as a refuge for the heart and the mind, a refuge from being dragged around, buffeted in the world of chasing flashy sankharas. As Ajahn Sucitto would say, being bamboozled by them. Settling, resting, enjoying, even if it's just for a moment or two, this somatic connection with the body. You don't cling to it. Don't bear down on it so that it will last. We allow these tiny sensations that we feel to come and go. And in allowing them to come and go without demanding or needing that they be different in any way. Come quicker, go faster, just being with. In doing that, there is calm, there is tranquility, there's equanimity. Enjoy this experience without clinging. Enjoy it, rest in it. The analogy of the eating in terms of ingesting may be helpful. Another analogy that might be helpful as we move into our day here and engage with our life is that of rafting or canoeing or kayaking down a whitewater rapid. Looks like fun, and it can be, and it's a lot of work. In order to have control over whatever you're rafting in, the raft or the canoe needs to be going as fast or faster than the current of the river, or there's no control. It'll just take you wherever it wants to. So that means that you need to be paddling the boat, the canoe, so that it's moving as fast or faster than the current. And those currents are going fast, i.e., it's a lot of work, and it's really can be tiring. And so what people will do is that they'll go a little section and then they'll pull out into an eddy where they can just rest. The water's just kind of circling a little bit. They don't really have to put the paddles down, just hang out and rest. Kind of, oh, okay, and maybe look at the next little run. Okay, we'll go left here, then right over there, but also get the wind back and the energy to take that next section. And so we have to do that in our lives, right? These lives, especially in turbulent times like this, is like a whitewater rapid, and it's challenging and it's hard. And so in terms of ingesting life wisely, it's what we take in, but also the volume and pausing, so that we can regain both, our strength, but also, our clarity and our clear seeing. Bring our wholesome intentions to mind, so that they can help guide us. All things like that. Very important to pause the ingesting. So I hope for you a good day. You can take this with you as you cultivate the Eightfold Path, and pausing during our busy days. Maybe you have things that remind you, a bell or a timer or things like that. Or maybe you practice with it enough so that it's arising naturally, habitually, and you can enjoy those pauses, experiencing them fully, so as to deepen them, even as you experience them. Okay, best wishes with all of that, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.